if you've ever watched my channel, you may have seen a short where I said we're going to work on learning the fretboard. We're going to work on learning some notes and we're going to get this thing down. And I also made a short that said, what's the best way to eat an elephant? And the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break down the fretboard and we're going to learn some notes. Now we're not going to do it all today. I mean, I could give you this diagram right over here that shows every single note on the fretboard and totally confuse you and make you not ever want to learn the fretboard. Or I could break it down into pieces and teach you how to break it down into pieces so you can learn the fretboard. Now before, we said we were going to learn it, and we said we were going to break it down, and we said the secret key ingredient was the dots on the fretboard. See the little dots? 2 here, 1 picks it away. But the dots, they're the secret to the fretboard. Well, how can that be? Well, they're kind of spaced out to help you find notes on the fretboard. A lot of guitars start with the first dot on the 3rd fret, the 2nd on the 5th, the 3rd on the 7th, the 4th on the 9th, the 5th on the 12th, and so on. Some guitars do not have a dot for the 3rd fret. I wish they all did, because it really makes finding things a little bit easier, a little bit faster. But not all of them have it there, but that's okay. I'm going to assume in this video that yours has a dot on the 3rd fret. Now, not only will it have dots here, which really is more for looks than anything else, because if you're playing the guitar and you're leaning way over to look at those dots to figure out where your notes are, that's not going to work out too well. But the manufacturers got smart and they put dots here. Now, I don't know if you can see them on the video. Mine are white, but they're on the very side of the fretboard and the neck, so that when I'm playing, I don't have to look around to see those dots. I look down and I can see the dots that I need. So how are the dots going to make it easier to learn the fretboard? Well, follow along with me. We're going to break this down even further than just the dots. And you're going to learn these notes quicker than you ever thought, because we're going to do it in small chunks. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with that first dot, which on my guitar is on the 3rd fret. 3rd fret. Okay, and we're going to start with the 6th string, which is the thickest one. The E string, the thickest one. Why they're numbered from 1 all the way up to 6, that always seemed kind of backwards to me, because the way I work, things closer to me are numbered the other way, but that's here and there. So we're going to start with the 6th string, the 3rd fret. And here's how we're going to make it easy. We're going to learn the dots first. Okay? So this is an E string. That would make the very first fret an F, a 2nd F sharp, and the 3rd, where that first dot is, a G. Now, if you've learned anything about your steps, your whole, half, that thing, if you've learned anything about that, that also applies to guitar mostly. So if we've got F, F sharp, G, and we take a whole step, the next dot should be an A. The next dot should be a B, and so on. So how are we going to break this fretboard down and make it easier for you to learn these notes? Simple. We're going to break it down into the first dot, the 2nd dot, the 3rd dot, and this may be more than one video just to do this, but this should make it easier for you. So here's what I want you to work on first. If you're a total beginner, if you don't know any of the fretboard, if you've never cared to learn the notes but now suddenly you want to learn the notes, this is the way to do it. This is a way to learn them. This is a way to make it stick in your head, because especially as a beginner or a beginning adult, especially if you're older in age, we don't remember a lot of things that we go over. We have to go over it and go over it and go over it for it to stick. So here's what I want you to do. We said that number 3 fret, the very first dot right here, was a F, F sharp, G. So here's what I want you to learn. The string is what? It's an E string. The first fret is what? It's an F. The second fret is what? It's an F sharp. And the third fret is what? It's a G. That's how I want you to break it down. That's how I want you to learn it. Once you've learned these 3 frets, move to the ones that the next dot and the next dot. Learn those notes. Once you learn those, move on. Learn to that dot. We break it down into little tiny pieces like that. Your brain will remember it, and you'll visualize it when you look at your dots. It'll really make it easier to help you learn the fretboard. I might do more videos like this on this subject, just because it can be a little bit confusing. But try it that way. Really simple. Here's what I wanted you to learn tonight. First string, or I'm sorry, the 6th string is an E, low E string. F, F sharp, G. That's all I need to learn tonight. E, F, F sharp, G. Next time I sit down, I'm going to cover that again in my head so I can remember, just like doing scales or anything else. E, F, F sharp, G. But then I'm going to go a little bit further and learn G sharp, A. Now remember, the flats are where the sharps are as well, so you can call it either one that you like. But I'm going to learn F, F sharp, G today. Tomorrow I'm going to sit down and I'm going to cover that again. F, F sharp, G. And then I'm going to add G sharp, A. So look at how fast I can start learning these notes. I don't have to learn them all up and down the strings, all over the fretboard at one time. Little pieces make things easier to learn. Break it down like that. Listen, love to have you over the channel. Come subscribe, come be a member, come join us. I'm a beginner, I'm learning, so I'm sharing what I'm learning as I go along. I'd love to have you over there. Jump over the channel, make sure you ring the bell, become one of my people, and let's get this thing learned. Let's learn this guitar. Let's stop making it so hard like people want you to believe it is. Let's break it down and let's learn it. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.